Welcome back. Over the weekend, Midtown Global Market celebrated its 20th anniversary. It's a vibrant spot in Minneapolis where food, culture, music, and small businesses come together under one roof. The market's also working to overcome difficulties from COVID, the aftermath of George Floyd's murder, and Operation Metro Surge. Here's Sammy Selena with the story.
¿Cómo estamos? ¿Qué te ofrezco?
As the lunch rush at Midtown Global Market
Cherry Coke?
swells and recedes,
20 years, a long time.
Manny Gonzalez reflects on 20 years of ups and downs.
Oh my God, it's a roller coaster ride. Yes.
He co-owns Manny's Tortas and is one of the original vendors who moved in after the old Sears building was converted to a World Bazaar 2 decades ago.
The pandemic, George Floyd, ICE, just keep doing it day by day. So that's what makes it really amazing about this place, that we don't give up.
His fellow original vendors reflect the same sentiment.
You know, we work hard trying to survive.
Trung Pham owns Phom's Rice Bowl.
A lot of downs.
Kevin Hannigan owns the Produce Exchange.
A lot of downs, a lot of downers. It's been a ride on Lake Street.
Both agree with Manny that they're recovering still from Operation Metro Surge.
Yeah, that was the worst because, you know, nobody want to come to work. Everybody was at home.
And it affected a lot of us, small immigrant family type of business. Absolutely.
But they see this collection of global vendors as a strength.
This is home, absolutely.
Wanted to be a part of this market. And once you start a business, you're going to try everything you can, good or tough time to survive.
And they're looking to build on another 2 decades.
Cheers to 20 years. Woo!
Sammy Solina,
Salud.
KARE 11 News.
Set a reminder for June 13th and 14th for the Midtown Arts and Music Festival. It's one of the signature events of the market's anniversary celebration, and it's free to attend. This afternoon, a story of incredible timing and a wrong number mix-up that's led to a life-changing friendship. NBC's Hallie Jackson tells us more.
Hello! What a fun day!
Lauren Stevens and Werner Krutine aren't just friends, they're besties. From karaoke
Here we are.
to TikToks together, the unlikely friendship starting by accident.
You're so good.
I know.
It all began when Lauren's work phone got messages clearly meant for someone else.
I kept getting text messages saying, Vern dog. And I very much was obviously, who the heck is Vern dog?
Vern dog.
That brought Lauren to his website, where she learned Vern Dog was Werner, a renowned San Francisco photographer who'd spent decades traveling the world with his camera.
Right.
Emails turned to phone calls.
It's actually video chat. We couldn't figure that out on your side.
Yeah.
Hanging out in person and opening up.
What was it like for you when Lauren sort of entered your life?
That was like such a wonderful feeling, actually, that somebody cared. And from that point on, it just accelerated.
Yeah.
As the world has gone digital, Vern's been struggling to make ends meet, so Lauren decided to help, sharing his work online and creating a GoFundMe that's raised more than $40,000 so far.
I cannot tell you how amazing it is just having Lauren, not only as somebody who supports me, but just who's become a really close friend. I can't believe it. She's 24. I'm 72.
That friendship lifting Vern when he needed it most, all from a wrong number at the right time.
Be open to connection. Finding these small moments with people and your community is really what allows for a very grand and beautiful life.
Well, later this summer, 2 Northwestern Wisconsin baton twirlers will take the international stage to compete in the World Freestyle and Rhythmic Twirl Championships. Both of the twirlers train at a small studio in Superior. Blake Hornstein, introduces us to one of them.
I'm 21 years old and I literally grew up in a baton twirling studio.
Track's Nelson Cavallez has a special talent.
Sometimes I like to call it my party trick. I just can kind of pull a baton out of the car and twirl a baton.
It's more than just a trick, but a skill that's won hundreds of competitions, national awards, and a spot on Team USA to compete in Paris. But until recently, it's been his best kept secret.
There's very few people outside of my family and Sterling Silver Studio that even know I'm a baton twirler.
Nelson Cavallas is the only male competitor selected to represent the U.S., but the prestige has always gone hand in hand with the stigma.
It's not something that I've ever been embarrassed of or ashamed of, but it's, you know, when you're a 21-year-old man, it's not something that you usually bring up in everyday conversation that you're a baton twirler.
And catch.
Now with the World Championship opportunity,
Third position.
Trax is confronting his personal demons
And right hand out.
in hopes that his story
1, 2.
can help someone else.
And catch.
I'm trying to share a little bit more about it and talk about it a little bit more, just to kind of remove that stigma around, you know, baton twirling only being a sport for females.
His mom, Carolyn's seen it too, and says it all came to a head when she came across a poster in the halls of Superior High School.
Trax was the tallest member of the team, so he was, you know, smack dab in the middle of this line of twirlers, and clearly he was a young man, not a girl, but like they had to label it girls twirling.
As a mom, she wasn't happy, but as the owner of a twirling studio for over 35 years, she saw it as a chance to blaze a new trail.
We laughed about it, right? But I can only imagine that as a young male athlete, that was, you know, a little bit disheartening. You can use it as an example of, okay, this is something that we need to change.
For Trax, change means evolving into more than an athlete, but an advocate for shattering stereotypes.
It's a little bit more than baton twirling at this point. It also has something to do with removing the stigma of things are only for one kind of people, one gender or age, and we're gonna stir just like that.
Trax is also an instructor, teaching classes in the same studio
There you go.
that raised him.
And take a bow.
Passing the baton
And go back and forth.
and a message
5, 6.
to the next generation.
Beautiful. Nice job.
It can be for everybody. It can be for like little kids, older kids. It can be for anyone.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I hope it inspires somebody to try something different, even if that's not baton twirling.
Trax couldn't share the routine he'll be performing, but did reveal the soundtrack would be a classic, Painted Black by the Rolling Stones. The other twirlers headed to Paris for the World Championships include 17-year-old Lila Guczynski. She was selected as an alternate on the team. The World Championships will be held from August 5th through the 9th. Stay with us. There's more news and weather coming up after the break.